Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Oh, this is a big deal. It's the excitement in downtown Paris.
Investigators say it could take a while to clean up. 3 rail cars carrying coal derail into a creek.
How students and teachers at a Central Kentucky high school are remembering a student killed in a crash.
Police are investigating 2 shootings that happened 2 nights in a row on 1 Lexington street.
WKYT investigate what's being done to help the growing number of homeless veterans in Lexington. WKYT News at 6 starts now. Good evening. Crews have been working to clean up the mess for more than 12 hours now. Tonight we are learning more about a train derailment that caused some train cars carrying coal to fall into a Bourbon County creek.
Police think that the ground gave way beneath the tracks, causing the derailment in downtown Paris this morning. And this is what it looked like from the air. Officer Don Evans shooting this video from Sky First earlier today. Jerica Insko is tracking the investigation tonight. It's our top story at 6.
That's right. What you're seeing is a train in a creek.
Oh, this is a big deal. It's the excitement in downtown Paris.
4 cars of a 100-car coal train with CSX derailed, 3 of them slipping and left sitting along Stoner Creek.
Its track is built on what they call a high wall, and just it's probably 100 years old or older, and just gave way. I guess time finally wore it out.
Crews like Emergency Management, CSX, and the R.J. Corman Railroad Group spent their Monday afternoon cleaning up. The sheriff tells me he's talked to every crew here, and from the beginning, the plan has been to lift 2 of the cars back up the hillside, which has already been done, and then take the 3rd car, which is in the water, to the opposite side of the creek and remove it from there. That all must be done before crews can determine the extent of the damage to the sewer line below.
Raw sewage may be dumping in the Stoner Creek, and also coal is in the Stoner Creek. EPA is here, and that's what their biggest concerns are at this point.
As for the safety of these tracks, we are still looking into that and if they are checked periodically. But the sheriff says CSX officials hope to have trains running back through here by Tuesday by rerouting the tracks. In Paris, Jerica Insko, WKYT.
Police tell us the Main Street Bridge over Stoner Creek has been closed for now so crews can move equipment in and out of there. EPA leaders say that no drinking water has been contaminated in Paris.
A devastating loss for students and teachers at a Central Kentucky high school. Tonight, they are remembering a 17-year-old killed in a crash this weekend. Investigators say Colton Burris lost control of his truck while on the way to take the ACT. He was a student at Harrison County High School. As Victor Puente tells us, those who knew Colton say he will be missed.
He was looking at the military. He was talking about going to college and becoming an officer in the military. He wanted to be a pararescueman in the Air Force.
The 2 men who oversee Harrison County's junior ROTC program say not only did they lose a student over the weekend, they lost a leader.
He was just the kind of kid that people attract to.
17-year-old Colton Burris died Saturday morning. He crashed on his way to take an ACT exam. Today, counselors were at the high school to help those who knew the junior deal with their grief.
You know, he was right at the beginning of really starting his life, and it's incredibly difficult for teachers, administrators, anybody who knew him.
This morning, Colton's fellow cadets went to school administrators and asked if they could lower the flags here to half-staff in his honor.
When you lose somebody that's your own age like that, and somebody that you're that close to, they have a really hard time processing it.
But Montgomery and Blackburn plan on helping those students while dealing with their own pain.
You know, it is very hard for me as well, and I've shed tears with them.
You get really close to these kids, and ROTC kids are a really close-knit family.
In Harrison County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Burris lived with his father in Harrison County. His mother lives in Ohio.
A suspect arrested in Kentucky for the murder of an elderly Ohio woman will soon be heading back to the Buckeye State. Daniel French agreed to be sent back to Butler County, Ohio during a hearing in Rockcastle County this morning. Police arrested him there last week. Police in Ohio say that French killed 87-year-old Barbara Howe in 2012. They found her body in the trunk of her car. French has been charged with murder, robbery, and abuse of a corpse. Some frightening moments in a Lexington neighborhood this weekend. Police are investigating 2 cases of shots being fired. They say a house and a car were hit.
And while no one was injured, this has left people living on Freeman Drive worried. Kristen Kennedy talked to a man who says he was the intended target of all those shots. She's tracking the investigation tonight.
James Mullins was sitting at home on Freeman Drive when he says a bullet whizzed through the front window.
When I seen the first shot dropped, I just hit the floor.
He showed us half a dozen other holes, too.
I don't see where you want to shoot somebody. If you ain't got to come over here and fight me, what you want to shoot for?
Mullins thinks he knows who went after his home Saturday night. And Sunday night, some neighbors' cars were caught in crossfire.
Somebody was shooting at somebody else running down the road.
Jesse Hollinsworth says bullets struck his son's truck and shattered a side mirror. Erica Taylor's daughter was in her bedroom just a few feet away from the gunfire.
My daughter's room is right here. So, I mean, if it would have hit just like a few more feet, it would have hit my daughter right in the head. Like that's where she lays her head at. Like right, her pillow's right there where the blinds are.
Mullins says the shooter is misguided.
It's over. My friend's chick, he got me confused with my friend, and now I'm getting shot at.
And he's angry they put others in danger.
I don't understand why he's shooting in general. I mean, you got a grudge against me. What you taking it out on everybody else for? I mean, you sitting there putting other people's life in jeopardy. You just counting up your wanted endangerment charges, dog.
In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Police say they do have a suspect in the shootings, but they have not made any arrests. We are learning more tonight about a deadly hit-and-run crash in Lexington. Investigators say 23-year-old Jacob Hamilton died after being hit by a car on Liberty Road Saturday night. Police say the driver left the scene but later contacted them. Lexington police told us today that driver did not have any signs of being impaired. No charges have been filed, but police say the crash is still under investigation.
We are tracking some rain moving into the bluegrass tonight, and it's just the start of some changes coming our way. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking the first alert defender right now.
Yeah, those sprinkles and light showers right on top of the Lexington Metro. We were timing those in at 4 o'clock between 6 and 7. Here we are after 6 o'clock and the rain falling on the west side of town. Let's get into it with live first alert defenders, show you what we are seeing. And again, it's just showers coming at us. Not like it's a big wall of water by any stretch of the imagination, but if you're out this evening, you will notice some raindrops. So keep the umbrellas handy. It's quickly zipping on in to the west side of Lexington. A little raindrop action on Masterson Station. If you're out around the Holiday Hills area, west side of the downtown area, out toward Commonwealth Stadium, Fayette Mall, Dunbar High School, and Keeneland and the Bluegrass Airport, yes, we are dealing with a couple of raindrops. Notice we get a little break in the action, though. Richmond down to Berea, Mount Vernon. Then the stuff picks back up from Somerset toward Monticello. So if you're watching us now in Corbin, Williamsburg, and London, first of all, good evening, but the raindrops are on top of you over the next little bit. And seeing more in the way of those showers developing across parts of western Kentucky. Everything spinning around a big area of low pressure that will gradually move in with some showers, gusty winds, and then colder air coming up. And that's what we're tracking on the weather headlines, with rains increasing, temperatures going the other way. But guys, it's the winter weather potential that starts to show up again in our 7-day forecast. I'll break it down in just a few minutes.
Chris, thank you. This time last year, there were 1,400 homeless people in Lexington. The city will soon do another homeless count, but we already know the population of one group has increased: homeless veterans. And as investigative reporter Miranda Combs tells us, people trying to help them are now facing their own challenges.
They are setting up a store where no cash is exchanged, where those with nothing leave with something.
I will see some veterans. I will.
It's a population within a population. Homeless veterans.
They feel like they've been forgotten. I gave you my time. Who's here to help me transition from what I did for you back to my normal life? And they just feel lost.
Lawrence Olinger can relate on one level. He's a veteran and a volunteer with Jenny Ramsey, who runs the Catholic Action Center in Lexington and the Community Inn shelter.
As everyone says, we're the last house on the block.
Ramsey says the number of veterans taking shelter at her shelter used to be about 5 to 10 a night.
That number has jumped to about 18 to 20.
There's been a drastic increase in the amount of veterans at our facility.
Ben Whitey says about 100 veterans sleep at the Hope Center on any given night now, up about 20%. We sat down with Ben at the Charles Young Center, where an initiative is underway to help homeless veterans by giving them the basics inside a backpack.
When you have nothing, losing what little you do have is very detrimental.
The Back a Vet program has been happening for several years. However, organizers say they are way behind this year with collecting backpacks and toiletries, a problem since more veterans than ever are needing help, like Tom Jenkins.
I just never really thought about ever being homeless, period.
This is a small thing that we can do, that we're doing for a bigger problem. The bigger conversation is what can we do to address the needs of our veterans so they won't end up homeless.
That brings us back to the Christmas store. A pile of backpacks fill the floor here, too.
We have to make a concerted effort with our veterans.
Ramsey and Olinger say it's about getting resources to this growing segment of society in a way they understand, which involves surrounding them with their own.
They want to talk to veterans that have served, that are there for them, and that will fight for them when things aren't going the way that they should go.
It's not for us to judge them or their actions. It is us to judge how we as society deal with these men and women who've given their lives, and many of them their psyches, for service to our country.
And if you are interested in donating to the Back a Vet program, you can drop off backpacks and grooming items at any Community Action Council location until mid-January. There's also a link on our website as well for more information.
And Miranda, now it seems the city of Lexington is going to step up its response to help homeless veterans, right?
I talked to them today, and they said actually next month they're starting a new program where homeless people can possibly be put into homes instead of shelters. And they said in that regard that veterans will take priority.
So if you've got a backpack at home that's not being used, you could donate it, right?
Absolutely, donate it immediately, yes.
We've already had people asking us and tweeting us, so we know people want to know. So Miranda, thank you. The next phase of the Centrepointe development began today, and soon you'll notice a big change there.
Construction crews began bringing in parts for a tower crane this morning. The crane is being built on site. When it's finished, it will be more than 25 stories high. Police officers briefly shut down Vine Street this morning so the first pieces could be brought in. The people we talked to today say they've been following the progress of Centrepointe.
This definitely has changed. I remember it being a horse cart with the jumps and the pretty grass and the fences, and now it's definitely a hole, a crater.
And crews have also closed the left lane of Main Street at Centrepointe. That lane will stay closed through Friday afternoon, and a second tower crane still has to be brought in.
A Lexington home has been turned into an illegal dump site, and now police are investigating. Lexington police say 40 tires were dumped at an empty home on Winchester Road over the weekend. A neighbor told us she saw two people pull up in a U-Haul and unload tires from it. Police tell us those responsible will face a felony charge of disposing trash someplace other than a permitted site. So far, no one has been arrested, and the homeowner has been told she has to pay to help to have them removed.
A University of Kentucky graduate is among those being recognized as Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Time gave the honor to the Ebola fighters in West Africa, and Mosaka Fala is one of them. He's a native of Liberia and set up a health clinic for women and children there. He also worked on community-based initiatives to stop the spread of Ebola. Fala studied at UK for 6 years. He received a doctorate in microbiology, immunology, and molecular genetics.